Hello again. Well, it's actually not often that we get to step outside into the sunshine from the commentary position and actually experience this, because you might be able to hear behind us the podium is still sort of, I wouldn't say in full swing. I think we've worked our way through the real hitters, haven't we? And we're down to the mayor of Rouen.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on now.
I don't know, they're playing the anthem. Somebody's about to appear again.
Or they're just practicing. Maybe they're just practicing.
Or maybe it's the music at the end of the ceremony. Maybe, I don't know.
Closure.
A little bit of closure, yeah. Quite a day.
It was an amazing day. I mean, we expected it to be a phenomenal race.
Yeah.
We rode it. We both rode the final.
I punctured.
My batteries died on my bike, so I was in a single speed. So that was fun.
Operation.
Yeah. And we knew it was going to be carnage. We knew it was going to be a great race. I thought it might kick off a bit earlier, but that final climb was so hard. They all waited for that.
Yeah.
And it was interesting watching the kind of flick-flack between Visma bike and UAE.
So good.
It was so good. And then, yeah, and then occasional crashes, little things going on behind the race as well. But when it came down to it, it kind of unfolded exactly how we expected it to.
It's so good. Now you mentioned that, actually, the interplay between the two super teams for the two big favourites, and the way they just like, no, me first, no, you first, and they're just constant elbowing each other out. They were jockeying for position. It reminds me of, was it 3 years ago at the Tour where we started to notice that phenomenon?
They kept doing it.
One day on, one day off.
Yeah.
Front foot. No, we get on the front foot.
I think even last year they were doing it at times. In the finals, they'd just be swapping. I mean, maybe not so much last year because Tadej Pogacar was just so dominant. But yeah, we're seeing very much. I mean, the strength of his bike was impressive. I mean, seeing what they did. But when it came down to it, Pogacar, he did what he always does. But there's one caveat to that. He didn't drop everyone. And I can't even remember the last time that happened.
I mean, it's such a rare thing, especially on a gradient that steep, with Tadej Pogacar being the rider in question. When you get distance, you get gaps, you get drop, you look round. To have the resilience, all right, he was close to the top, wasn't he? Very close. And I think you said to me after we stopped commentating, it's amazing what the body can do if you just go, actually, no.
Yeah.
And we're talking about Vingegaard just getting back to him when, that defies the laws of logic, really, doesn't it?
It's so weird how your head can just kind of find another gear. I mean, they always say that you can always go deeper. You can always go deeper. You've got this kind of limitation, this natural limiter. But sometimes I think he overrode it today, Vingegaard.
Yeah.
You know, like 100 metres from the top, he let go, and it looked like he looked over his shoulder. Then he looked up again, saw the line, and just found something else, and kind of just popped back onto Pogacar's wheel.
Yeah.
It was weird, and it was pretty amazing, and it's really good for the rest of the Tour.
Yeah. Look, there's Bernard Thévenet. Look, see that man? Won the Tour de France. Give us some context as to who Bernard Thévenet is.
Bernard Thévenet, he is one of the, well, not the penultimate last Tour de France winner.
Yeah, after
Bernardino.
Yeah.
So
where does Fignon fit in the mix?
Fignon, so he's the third. He's the third last winner of the Tour.
Yeah.
So yeah,
lovely
legend.
To see the badger, was at the race, wasn't he? Doing a bit of French television as well.
I don't see him so often these days.
No, I know. It's a shame.
No, yeah.
Before we leave that all alone, though, we should mention Oscar Onley, shouldn't we?
Oscar Onley, ride of the day. There's no rhyme or reason how he could have been there, because he was caught up in a crash 15 kilometres from the end.
Yeah.
And honestly, I don't know how he got back into the race, number one. How he was then in the race with the very best and finished fourth in the stage.
Jonathan Milan
just went by.
Big, isn't he?
He's freaking huge. Yeah. Oscar Onley is not big, but Oscar Onley, I think if he hadn't been caught up in the crash, he would have been playing for the win. I mean, he couldn't. There's no way he could have been at his best in that sprint, because he'd have had to do such a big effort to get back. But
so it's going to be so interesting to see what his Tour yields at the end of it all, because he's in the GC race at the moment. I mean, he may lose big amounts of time and then play in the breakaway in the third week for a win. And if that's the case, you'd rate him amongst the big favourites if a break goes to the line.
I think it'll be disappointing if he doesn't win a stage. I mean, the way he's on stage winning form, but the problem is he's at the sharp end of the race.
Exactly.
Which means it limits him slightly. But
almost like, does he do it deliberately? Or I don't know. The relaxed GC.
The relaxed GC is what he should do. Yeah. Anywho.
Lots to discuss, but let's hear from the man right at the centre of it, the winner for the 100th time in his career and the 18th time at the Tour de France. What's his name?
Tadej, congratulations. Could there be a more perfect way of getting your 100th victory? You look at the rider who finished second, the rider who finished third, the route, the way you rode, the team.
Yeah, I couldn't dream for better finish as today. to beat one of the best in the world in road cycling and this kind of finishes, and to have 100 victory on the Tour de France with a world champion jersey, it's incredible, and big huge thanks to the teammates as well.
Yeah, Almeida was fantastic today. On that climb with 5 kilometers to go, you really exploded out of the blocks, and you dropped Jonas at one point, but he managed to come back. I guess you were softening up Mathieu, but did you go too hard?
It was a plan to go full on this climb. Of course, you don't know exactly how long is the climb. Maybe I could squeeze a little bit more towards the top, but I think Jonas would be on the wheel anyway through the top, and in a way it was perfect, because then the legs were tired, and the next attacks that were coming were not as strong as they could be.
Okay.
Does it make you nervous?
Well, there's the thoughts of Tadej Pogačar, and that is your hero, David.
Well, it's one of them.
Am I overstating it a little?
You're overstating it a little bit.
Okay. You like him?
I admire him.
Okay.
I think he's a very strong rider.
This time last year, it's David's hero, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Let's do with some of your online questions then for stage 4. Sporty Peach says, do you think a generic point jersey should be good if you finish stage first 1 point? Be good if you... Guys, try and get your grammar a bit, more, so, sorted, so that we can actually understand the question. If a rider finishes 78th, they get 78 points. So if you win a stage, you get 1 point. If a rider finishes 78th, they get 78 points. Would be interesting to make a dark blue rider, dark blue for the rider and collective for the team.
I don't understand any of that.
DNF, same point. Sorry,
No,
Pete.
go to the next
I
question.
think you may well have sort of invented something genius, but I didn't understand it.
Not aware of it.
Kevin Smith, 13, says, will it take a rider dying in one of these situations? Well, let's hope not, for heaven's sake, before the UCI and ASO do anything.
No. I think it already did, because Andrei Kivilev back in 1999 died in a crash, and that then forced helmets. So it does have an effect, but I don't know what they can do at the moment.
Yeah. Stephen Reed, hi team. Every Tour de France I see water bottles being discarded regularly throughout the race. How many water bottles does a team typically get through a race? That's one for Pete Kenyuk, isn't it? And how many would be for all the teams throughout the entirety of the competition? It's lots.
It's lots. Look it up. It's online. Somebody's already done this. It's thousands and thousands and thousands.
Yeah, because each rider, especially in the heat of summer, they're going to get through 6, 8, 10 bottles.
Yeah, possibly on a very hot day.
Per day, per team. And there are 23 teams. Do the math. Should the sporting directors of the smaller teams be doing more to push their riders to join breakaways, even if they're doomed to fail on sprint days? Surely the sponsors want the exposure, and it's not acceptable to have stages with no break. Well, talking about it the other day at the Giro d'Italia, the race organisers basically say to the smaller teams, get in the break. That's why you never have days like this at the Giro d'Italia, and they're told, basically, off the record, you don't get in a break today, you don't attack, you're not coming back next year.
And I think the reason it's not happening is sponsors, small teams, don't want it to happen. Otherwise, if the sponsors does want it to happen, it happens. So I think that's actually the sponsors not wanting it to happen. So
yeah. Unless I'm imagining it, it looks like there's more signalling by the riders to each other, warning them about road furniture.
No, it's not more. There's always been a lot. Yeah, always been a lot.
That's changed. That's it.
Yeah.
Excellent questions. Where am I going to now, Tommy? Do you remind me?
Leaderboard.
Let's have a look at the leaderboards, the general classification. So this is how things stands off this fascinating stage 4. Locked on time, Tadej Pogačar and Mathieu van der Poel. It's actually only the fact that Pogačar finished 71st yesterday that on countback means he's not in the yellow jersey.
Yeah.
But he's in the polka dot jersey.
Yeah.
Skin suit for the time trial tomorrow.
Yeah.
Jonas at 8 seconds, and Remco Evenepoel is now on 58 seconds, which is a
He'll bring a lot of that back, but not... on everyone else, but he's not going to bring that much back, if any, on Vingegaard and Pogačar he will. He's going to bring time back on everyone apart from...
That's a bold prediction.
He's going to bring back some time on Pogačar and Vingegaard and lots on everyone else.
So that is the reshaped general classification after stage 4. Remco Evenepoel, as we said, with a lot of work to do, but he's got an opportunity, and it's a long time trial that suits him, right?
33 Ks, in modern standards, that's up at the upper distance. So it's a great opportunity for him, and it works out well because he needs it to be as long as possible to get as much time as possible. Yeah, and Mathieu van der Poel, no chance of him hanging on, is there? No, he'll do a good time trial. We saw at the Dauphiné, he got 6th, I think, or 7th in the time trial, but here against these riders, and I think what he's already accomplished, He's going to go deep 'cause he's in yellow, but he'll lose time.
It's just our opinion. Matt Rendell has been looking at the individual time trial in a bit more detail for you.
Thanks, Ned. Yes, time trial day, 33 kilometres, starting in Caen, ending in Caen, so some tricky technical city street riding, but then out into the countryside where it's going to be all about power. As far as the contenders concerned, well, Ganna and Bissiger both crashed out on stage one. There's people like Foss, Cattaneo, Affini, Cernverenschol, but will they be going hard? We just don't know. They've got team duties to go. So the riders we're going to be concentrating on are obviously the world champion and the Olympic champion too, Remco Evenepoel. His big rivals are also the GC rivals. Tadej Pogacar, we know what a great time trial he can do, and Jonas Vingegaard, the man who beat Tadej in the Dauphiné earlier in June. So those are your riders. Let's go now and take a closer look at the route. So there is the time trial route. Starts with about a 5-kilometre section through Caen. There are right angle bends, and you want to be braking late, accelerating early, but not going so tight to the barriers that you end up with an accident like Wout van Aert in 2020. There are seconds to be gained on every corner, and the pressure is on to come out of town with the advantage over your rivals so that they're left chasing. Every corner is a risk assessment. There are tram tracks that could cause all sorts of problems. Be very careful there. And then out into the countryside. There, it's all about position on the bike, being as slippery as possible. You know that Remco Evenepoel has that extreme position, but he still manages to put out huge amounts of power. And depending on what the wind is doing, the advantage could fluctuate between the riders. So in the countryside, it's all about rhythm, it's all about concentration and not missing a beat. And then back into town for a final 5-kilometre section. There are 8 90-degree bends in this section, and again, it's how many risks are you willing to take, what's the road surface doing, and where are you with respect to your rivals. Information can be your friend, it can also be your enemy. Got to relax, got to stay fluid, and keep concentrating all the way to the line. But in every corner, a tenth of a second can be made and lost, and this time trial could come down to those tiny time differences.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. David Miller's just off talking to his old mate there. This is this man here. This man here. Look at him.
Christian van der
Velde.
NBC, American.
Could you look any more American, Christian?
I try my best, Ned. Every day I try.
You're working for American television on the bikes, aren't you? Doing that stuff. How is it?
I was just telling Dave, it was pretty intense today. Well, I mean, it was 3 hours of not being intense, and then all out. The last hour, it's almost, I felt like a little bit too much at times. But yeah, it's like Dave says, modern bike racing. The way they go with the tires, technology, it's incredible. I mean, I'm sure it was an insane spectacle. I just saw the shrapnel coming out the back.
We should put into context, Christian's on the back of a motorbike during the race.
Yeah.
Gripped at all times.
All right, we hate doing predictions, and when people ask us to do predictions, we refuse to give answers, but I don't care. I'm going to put you on the line. Who's going to win the Tour?
The Tour. I mean, I'm still going with Tadej, but I'm loving the fight that I'm seeing from
so
Jonas,
good, right?
and it's fantastic. I mean, this is going to be one of the best rivalries in sport going forward. I mean, from two teams battling against each other for years upon years, and only two of them entering the arena every time. Yeah. So I'm liking what I'm seeing from Visma and Jonas.
I'll leave you two chaps to talk amongst yourselves, you know, the old friends. All right, keep your questions coming as well. We'll be back at pretty much the same time tomorrow, so keep tuning in, and keep your feedback coming, and any questions, we'll try and answer them slightly a little bit better perhaps than we answered the questions today.